The piece of art that you see here was done over the duration of the retreat that started on Easter Day. I think I started this on the Monday, and it was simply drawing a random shape and starting to colouring it in with crayons. The words were added as the retreat progressed over the week, with what I felt God was saying to me. And the purple bit at the bottom started off as a mistake. I'd picked up the wrong sort of crayon. However, having meditated on the raising of Lazarus from the dead, it became the tomb from which I rose, having received God's healing. And I've got 2 poems to share that I wrote then. This first one was written fairly early on in the week, and the picture that you see there is one that I did for Easter Day in 2020, so 19 years later than when these words were written. I am not a victim nor a survivor. I am a woman made in God's image. In God's image I am made to be vulnerable, hurt and pained, to be healed and restored, cherished and loved. And it is Jesus' love which has done this. He has borne my grief and pain, so with him I can rise again in the Easter victory over death. And the next poem forms a summary of the retreat, and the picture that I've put on the screen is another one that I did on retreat. You probably can't read the words, but I've got it here and I can read them out for you. The first bit is in a scroll from a letter from God to me. Liz, I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. Then you will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. I will be found by you, and it will restore your fortunes, says the Lord. And that's from Jeremiah 29:11-14. And the bit in pink that you can see there is, you are a priceless pearl, my great treasure. You are my beloved, my beautiful one. I love you just as you are. And on the water pot, on the plant pot, it's water often and put down deep roots. And then a little snail going along, don't get pot bound. And there you go. We need to grow spiritually, and retreats for me have been a great way to put down those deep roots and allow God to water me. I am made in God's image, the great I am, which makes me a smaller I am, smaller, less significant than he by far, but nevertheless a special I am. I have been told to be still, be bold, be strong, but was afraid. And again, be still, be loved, be served. And he washed my feet, tenderly kissing each one. I was still and heard his voice say, you are a priceless pearl, my great treasure. You are my beloved, my beautiful one. I love you just as you are. So now I rise, a woman loved by God, precious in his eyes and of infinite worth. I have learnt to be still, and now I hear his voice say, just be. The answer to who am I is, I am me. Well, I've had many quiet days and retreats over the years, and in them discovered more of who I am. Working through low self-esteem, I'm now able to know myself more and more as God's precious daughter. I kept a journal, and a couple of years ago published my book, Are We There Yet?, in which I explain how God did bring that healing and wholeness, that forgiveness and acceptance of myself. I recovered from depression thanks to medication, counselling and giving space for God to work in me. Retreats are a great time to rest and relax, an opportunity to allow God to bring healing and wholeness in a way that isn't possible when we're busy with day-to-day life. God never gate crashes. He waits to be invited in, and sometimes it takes a long time for us to be brave enough to open that door to him, and retreats are that space where we can be brave enough. A PDF of my poems and prayers that I wrote over the years and the artwork are available to look at on my website, and my book gives the background story. When a leading psychoanalyst reviewed it, she said, Elizabeth tells of her journey of spiritual growth from unbelief to firm assurance, with periods of doubt and uncertainty, in a beautiful way that many will recognise. Her story is told in a unique way, using her journal entries over 30 years. Going deeper into God's presence, she received healing for depression via a call to ordination, various stages of ministry, plus working through the bereavement of divorce. As you enter Elizabeth's world, you will become totally absorbed. She has the courage and the sheer talent to make explicit what most people can only begin to speak of or imagine. It is both a unique, personal insight into depression and the struggle for recovery, and has a universality. It speaks to everyone who has experienced such a struggle and to those who seek to help. It has been highly praised and recommended for patients and carers as exceptional bibliotherapy. Well, I said that was the review. Actually, that's the blurb on the back cover, based almost word for word on that review that I was given, which gave me the courage to publish the book, which is available through Amazon, published by Olympia. There's my website where you can find the poems. And I pray that wherever you are on your journey of faith, that you will find God's presence and peace and know yourself to be precious and loved.